Hi guys, and welcome to another year of home gardening, or as I like to call it, fighting with Mother Nature and not learning my lesson. As always, I'm hoping this will be a good year, so here goes nothing. So once again, I start the year tilling the garden up good. This is probably my favorite part now that I have the big tractor and tiller. What used to take days and hours now just takes a few minutes. I really wish the rest of the process was this easy. Now comes the hard part, making all the rows and planting the seeds. Once again, I am planting small seed potatoes taken out of the garden last year. I've done this for several years now and haven't bought seed potatoes in a long time. Next, I plant lettuce and pumpkins. Then cucumber and carrots. Then I give everything a good watering and cover them with tarps to hold the moisture in until the seeds sprout. The next day I planted some corn, sunflowers, and green beans. Alright, so I've got everything planted now. And tarps on everything except for the potatoes because I can really soak those and they're usually alright not being covered. Now I did run short on tarps for the back end there, and one thing I did notice was, and I don't know why I didn't notice this before, the birds come around and they eat all my seeds. So I planted a bunch of giant sunflower seeds down there, and sure enough, they went in there, they ate them all. I believe they were in the corn too. So as much as we feed the birds here, we have tons of feeders, they get tons of seeds, they still want to grab what's in the garden. And that may be one of the reasons why when I plant so many carrots, so many sunflowers, that I get a lot less plants than the seeds that I put in. So I'm gonna have to be more persistent in putting those covers on, the tarps on, early in the year, and making sure that those seeds have time to germinate before I pull them off. All right, so we're going to give this probably about a week or so for those seeds to start to sprout, and I'll check on them every few days. This is going to help keep the moisture in because the sun's been beating down lately. It's a little cloudy today, which isn't so bad. And yeah, then we'll start looking at apple trees and the berries and stuff down there. So we're rolling. Alright, so it's the last week of June. I've been slacking off on my videos and really slacking off on the garden once again. But let's go around for a nice little update. Here are our potatoes. They're doing well. So once again, we're continuing that same group of potatoes year after year without having to go get new seed potatoes. Alright, the second plot here, we've got some green beans. Not looking so hot, but at least they're there. Next, I can't remember what I put here. I believe this is cucumber, and there's nothing here at all, not a single thing. There was one row, I believe it was right here, that I used a different type of seed. I had two different pouches. Those are now gone. Oh, we can see one bad looking one there, but something came by and ate those, so they're completely gone. Whatever I planted here, there's nothing. I believe some of this was lettuce, but not a single thing growing. And at the back here is where I believe I have carrots. And not sure if that's carrot or a weed, but nothing growing here yet. There could be a few there that sort of look like carrots, but I think they're weeds. And we got this random guy here that sort of looks like potatoes. So I'm not sure what that is, but something unexpected there. Not much growing here. Something there, but that's probably a weed again. So this whole area not doing well. I thought this was carrots, so not good again for carrots. Again, maybe one right there. So again, not good. Corn on the other hand, finally we've got a nice little thick patch of corn. Nothing's eaten that so far, so hopefully that keeps growing. And something here, I don't know what this is. Right at the end of the garden, I remember I had a couple of extra seeds. I threw it down. I have no idea what this is. So if anyone has any ideas, just comment below. I'm gonna maybe use Google Lens, take some pictures and see if I can figure it out, but has me a little confused there. All right, let's head down to the bottom plot here. So pumpkins, I planted so many pumpkin seeds because I picked them myself out of one of my last year's pumpkins. I dried them out, and there are so many plants. But I noticed the other morning there are these bugs, these little yellow guys, eating them. Look at them going nuts. So as usual, everything I plant, there's some sort of bug or animal that just loves to eat it, and they're just cutting holes into all these leaves, which is frustrating. I killed a few of those the other morning, but they're so quick. They take off, they come back. But row after row of pumpkin, so hopefully they catch and grow strong no matter what. But look at these guys. There's like 6 or 8 just on that one leaf. So frustrating. Really starting to hate bugs. This whole patch here, I threw down a bunch of rutabaga. I see a row of weeds in between where the tarps were that somehow they've grown, but nothing yet from the rutabaga. And over here is where I planted all the sunflower seeds, and the birds came here and they stole them all. So I replanted a ton of their bird seed. I see a couple have popped up here, and I picked up a few others that I'm going to replant, but not a whole lot going on here either. I planted a bunch of like wildflowers here, or annuals and watermelon, and nothing. So we're really off to a bad start this year. Really not impressed. Strawberries are so overgrown with weeds. It's so frustrating, and it's difficult to clean this because I just want to come in with my whippersnipper and cut it all down, but I don't want to kill the strawberry plants. If we take a little peek in there, we've got a nice little strawberry there with a bug eating it, which is awesome, I guess. And a couple more strawberries there. It's a shame that the bugs got to it before I did. But yeah, these weeds are just choking these strawberries out, and they're really tough. They're some sort of, let me just back the camera up. So some sort of tall grass, but when I grab a handful and pull on it, really difficult to pull out. Not sure if that's wheat or what, but geez, it's hard to pull out. I tried clearing this out the other day. Took everything to pull those out. I see another strawberry there. Is there no bug in that one? I have to go through here later and pick out any edible strawberries. So this is my first time looking at the grape tree this year. I'm probably going to come back here and thread all the branches back through the mesh. I've done this a few times through the years to try to give it a little more strength and structure. And it looks like we have another bunch of grapes again this year. So I guess it produces every year. I wasn't sure if it was every year, every second year or something, different cycle, but it looks like we're gonna have nice little bunches. Those were actually delicious last year. They were small, but I was really impressed by the flavor. All right, the raspberry patch, we haven't been getting tall plants for several years now. I see more little guys coming out, so there must be something that the soil's missing that raspberries like. So I should look into that, but lots of little plants have popped up this year. I'm trying not to mow around here, but again, I need to get these weeds out of here. Oof, this is my first time looking at the blueberries this year, and they are overgrown with weeds. But look at how many berries are on there. So many berries on these trees. That's just awesome. So that's nice to see. These are the Costco blueberries again. They seem to be doing really well. Then I've got some other ones. I think I got these at like Home Hardware or Home Depot or something. They don't seem to be producing any berries at all, which is odd. A few on that last plant. And then I've got this really old plant. I think this is one of the first ones I planted. And not seeing much for berries on there. Something probably already ate them, maybe. I'm not sure. So yeah, I got some work to do here. As always, May, June is like the busiest time for me at work. I really neglect the garden during those months, and that's when I really need to be here checking on them and watering them, and it's a rough one. So here, apple trees. This is the last one I planted. I say this every time, don't know what it is. I think it's a Cortland, but lots of apples there. So I really have to step up my game and try to look at keeping worms and caterpillars and whatever else out of here, the moths. So I've got some sticky traps I'm going to be putting up this year and trying that. And the Honeycrisp here, again, lots of apples here. So looks like it should be a good year for apples if I can keep those bugs out. Yeah, they're growing along. Already looks like there's some bugs that are burrowing in there. Yep, we can see something here that's been growing. Oh, that's probably bird poop. That was gross. All right, and then the Macintosh tree, which is really starting to get bigger there. Nice trunk on it, about 3 inches around. And I've got the old traps from last year still here. They're kind of disgusting, but lots of apples. Really, seriously, lots of apples here. So I'm really gonna have to get on, try to mitigate those pests on those before they get bad. Now, the peach tree just started sprouting and I'm seeing lots of leaves. No signs of fruit yet, so this may be a 2-year cycle for these guys. I'm surprised the apples, there were some last year and they're back again, so I thought those were on a 2-year cycle. So we'll see if something happens with the peaches. I know they're sort of a late bloomer for the leaves, but I'm not seeing anything for fruit yet, and I still don't know enough about it. Just having a look around here to see if I spot any sign of peaches or fruit or buds or anything, but nope, not seeing anything. All right, so that is our little update for the garden today. Not fantastic. It's going to be one of those years, but I got the staples, the potatoes, which is one of my favorite things to grow anyway. Beans where I hit the last 2 years, so hopefully those come out, but I may just have to replant some carrots, which I'm not a stranger to. I've done that several times now. Also, last weekend I put together this little flower bed just to try to cut down on mowing this corner, which I hate, and I have just this area in front of a fence, and I wanted something for the bees to eat whenever, you know, there's nothing in the garden. So I had this huge bag of wildflower seeds. I spread all those out there, and I don't know if it's flowers or weeds, but stuff is starting to grow there, so those should come up every year. We can see the little tunnel that our friend the Groundhog is going through, so he's been chilling out there in the flower bed. He's been on the ramp. He's been hanging out in this old baby gate that I'm throwing out. And before I go, I'm not sure if I showed this recently, but I did this waterfall in the backyard a few years ago, and just this year I've changed it around, added a better flow on the top, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It's a little low on water right now. It's been a hot week, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. A lot of it evaporates, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. All right, well, that's it for this week's update, and we'll see how July goes. Well, it's 7 a.m. and I'm out here in the garden before work, and you can see there's a couple of tarps down. I planted a few more things again. So I replanted carrots, I replanted some cucumber. So we're going to see how that turns out. It looks like those extra plants that are just randomly in the garden there that popped up are actually potatoes. So it must be potatoes that were left in the ground that I didn't really dig out, and now they're sprouting again. And I mentioned those little yellow bugs on my pumpkins. Well, I looked those up, and apparently they're striped cucumber beetles. So no potato bugs yet this year, although I haven't walked through there this morning and I see some colors, so I'm gonna have to check that out. But these guys are just ferocious, and I think they're even worse than the potato bugs because they can fly, they seem to be smart, and they like hide underneath things. So we were completely infested, and I have this new cucumber that I planted the day before yesterday, and as you can see, there's almost no leaves left on it. They've just been eating it day and night. And I can see one just walking down here in the ground, and I've just been so angry at these that I'm just running around and squishing them all with my fingers. It's kind of gross, but release some frustration. So we're gonna head down and look at the pumpkins. So I've been after these guys every morning, every evening, trying to cut down their population, but they reproduce so fast. Just gonna take a peek down here and see how bad the situation is. So I see a few, but I don't see that crazy infestation that I saw the other day. So yeah, not a whole lot. So we can see one of them there. So I'm gonna go around, try to catch them. They're really smart. And then I'm gonna check out the potatoes, and hopefully no bugs in those, because I can't handle two different types of bug infestations right now. But I'll check that out. Well, a little bit of good news, still no potato bugs. So first week of July and still no potato bugs. So hopefully it's a year without them. It would be nice, but I imagine they're coming. So I'm down here in the pumpkin patch, just killing more of those cucumber beetles. I'm really starting to get them under control now. And I just noticed that my buddy Marmotte is down in the potato patch there. You can see him just hanging out. As I walked by, I kept telling him that it's fine that he's in there. I think he's just eating weeds anyway. And so far he's not overly scared of me, but I don't know if I can make it back up to the house without him running off. But we're gonna see. I'm just gonna walk through carefully and slowly and let him know that I'm not out there to hurt him, and we'll see if he stays there. Kind of like having him around. He can eat all my yucky weeds. Yeah, you're good there. I'm just walking by. Yep, you're fine. Just heading back to the house. You're good. Don't mind me. Sorry, the camera's not very steady. He's a cute little guy. Hello. Those good weeds? It's okay, you can eat them all. Definitely likes dandelions. Maybe the clover too. There's lots of weeds that grow on the edge of the garden. So he heads down in the mornings usually and munches on those. Alright, see if I can make it to the house. Yeah, you're good. Keep eating. Another hot one today. And I've gone out in the garden 4 times to kill those cucumber beetles. And I think I'm getting the population under control. Still no potato bugs yet this year. Now I did plant late, so maybe that's something I need to look at doing more often. I really didn't plant until like mid-June, so maybe that's why. Alright, so I'm gonna head in the house, let him have the rest of those weeds and help me out, and come out later, water everything. Then maybe we'll take another walk around, see how things are doing. Alright, so second week of July and I'm just out here watering everything. Big news this week is the cucumber plant is officially dead. Those cucumber beetles have really wreaked havoc on it, and it's not coming back. I keep watering it, but it looks worse and worse every day. I also fixed my sign. Potatoes are doing really well, and surprisingly, still no signs of potato bugs. I don't know what is going on this year. I don't know if it's because I planted late or not, but I'm just happy so far, nothing. I don't want to jinx it, but so far the cucumber beetles have been the only real headache. Down here, this whole area, there's still nothing. I've got some little cucumbers finally popping out of here, and as usual, these are really slow going. I always have really slow start for cucumbers. Here I have the beans. Something went through and ate all the leaves and the tops off of all the beans, so they're sort of starting over, it seems. They're also really light green, so I don't know if I'm overwatering, but I'm going to keep an eye on those guys. Still not crazy strong right now. Down to the corn patch, it seems to be doing really well. I'm a little worried about this area because corn gets so tall, and with the strong winds that I get here, tend to fall over. And this ground is very soft. It's a really soft ground compared to previous years. I have a lot of manure, and you can see some cedar bedding like embedded in that manure, so it's really light and fluffy, and I really like the texture. It's not clumpy at all, but I just don't know if it's enough for those roots to grab onto. The random potatoes are still doing well. There's like 4 or 5 of them in this area. They're just like popping up all over the place. I've got 2 little guys starting there, another random one over there, this big guy, and a couple more there. So I must have missed a lot of potatoes last year, and they're all sprouting now. I've also seen a few random carrots finally coming out. So we've got this guy right here, and I have a few more that I saw. So a little bit of carrots, little guy here. So at least there'll be a few to say that we had some, but not going to be a good year of carrots this year. I'm not replanting again. I'm just going to let it go. So yeah, it's definitely not a great year for those, and those are one of my favorites to grow. I just came down and watered the trees as well. We got lots of nice looking apples growing there. I don't know if my little strips are keeping the bugs away or not. I still see a lot of spots on the apples, so we'll see. They may all get infested, but I'll learn a little every year. Sunflowers are starting to pop out there in that big mass of weeds. Big news this week is I think I've really wiped out the cucumber beetle population here. I haven't seen any in the last day and a half, so I think I finally got them under control until like the next wave shows up. But you can see the pumpkins here are growing really nice, thick, big leaves. So finally under control. More yellow leaves there. I don't think I'm overwatering, but hard to tell. Our annual rhubarb die-off has begun. Strawberries are pretty much done. I found one about 2 weeks ago and ate that. I've got a few bunches of grapes here, so just waiting for those guys to get bigger, and I really need to build some sort of big frame here to support how big that grape plant is getting. Like, it is a good 7, maybe even 8 feet in the air. It's quite tall now, and I can see it's really getting heavy and bending the wire and steel that I have for support. So I should build something big and wood there to hold that. Something might look nicer too. Raspberries here. I actually saw a TikTok the other day, and now I really understand what's going on here. It talked about like first year, second year, and third year type of sprouts. And I got these raspberries from my physiotherapist years ago, and he told me how to take care of them. But I'm sorry, Marcel, if you're watching this, I didn't listen. I didn't really understand it, but now I do. I really have to cut back those third and fourth and fifth, however many year old branches, because they're pulling all the energy out of the first and second year ones. And you can see here that none of them have any fruit on them. So these are all like first year and then really old ones. So I definitely have to cut these guys back and try to get this under control and take care of it properly. Blueberries, we've got a ton of white ones here, so I'm going to have to build something soon to cover those with the mesh, because the birds will be in here very soon. So that's it for today's update. I'm gonna head inside and relax. It's been a long week, and it's gonna be soon time to pick all the weeds because they're starting to take over. But that's it for today's update. Alright, so it's mid-July and I'm down here. I finally cleaned up the raspberries. So you can see all the big old stalks are gone, and it's just the young stuff. This is probably 1 or 2 year old stuff. And I just noticed that way down here, we've got a couple little raspberries. So that plant's trying. So I'm not going to pick those. I'm going to leave them be. We actually just picked about 40 blueberries from the bush here that had turned blue, and I just covered it up with the mesh now to keep the birds out of it. So that should be ready to pick soon. I was just passing by the grapes and I noticed they've gotten much bigger. So look at that. So just about 5 or 6 millimeters right now. Long ways to go. Apple trees, it's looking like bugs have gotten into those. So the apples are not pretty. Many of them have little holes. So I expect them to be full of worms and stuff, but I'm trying. Eventually I'll figure it out. The rhubarb is dead-ish. Our sunflowers are still coming in slowly. The weeds are definitely overtaking them. We've been thinning out the weeds around the pumpkins here. I finally got those little beetles under control, so they're no longer an issue. I come out in the morning and the evening. I don't see any. Potatoes are doing well, thank God. That's my staple here that always seems to grow. I did find one potato bug the other day, just one adult. I picked it, I killed it. I haven't seen any eggs, I haven't seen any babies, so I'm hoping it was just a single passerby. Something came through and ate the green beans, so these poor little guys are not growing much. Cucumbers are trugging along slowly, which always seems to be the issue. And I did water them this morning, and it was hot today, so there's a chance that I probably killed them because they're not looking too good. So I'm going to give them some water soon. Looks like somebody took a bite out of that one. And I see Marmotte is out right now. So he just came out of his little hole there. He's out getting some weeds, and he'll be heading down here. So hopefully he's not the one eating these. Plenty of weeds for you. Look at that. Eat all those. Corn's doing quite well. It's about 2 feet tall now. I'm quite happy with that. And then these potatoes, like the random potatoes, seem to be even bigger than the ones I planted on the other side. So not sure what the deal with that is. And look, another one. They're everywhere. Like, how many potatoes did I miss picking last year? Finally, look at this. Carrots. Holy shit, they took forever to come out. Oh, a couple more popping up here. Look at that. Really, really late. I planted those so long ago, and it looks like they're finally popping out. And I got a couple of big guys there. So it's nice to see a few coming out. I wish more would pop out from that third batch that I planted, but we'll see. Another big guy there. That one's got like different types of leaves with it too, so I don't know if that's a wild one or some sort of hybrid. So yeah, that's where we are now. Not a whole lot going on that we can eat for a while. Oh, we got some lettuce that started. Yeah, I'm just going to check out the lettuce. Don't mind me. I gotta just let them know that there's nothing to worry about when I come up here. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, lettuce finally starting to come out. Let's take a little peek at Marmotte there. Hello. Just munching away on the weeds. He loves that stuff. Alright, so yeah, that's it for this update. I'm just going to grab the hose, water everything, and we'll check in another week or two. Well, it's first weekend of August, and I'm just out here taking a stroll through the garden, and I'm seeing a ton of weeds here around the potatoes. So each row in between are covered up with weeds, but still no potato bugs like the Colorado potato beetle. None of those yet this year. I just saw one adult. At one point I pulled it off and I killed it, and I'm not seeing anything else. So this is the first year in quite a while that I haven't had any of those, so I'm quite happy about that. The cucumber beetles were enough for this year. This little mess here is where the green beans are, and somebody keeps eating those, so I think we're out of luck. I can see a big footprint right there, so someone's liking munching on those. The cucumber plants are still so tiny. And I think this is a recurring thing every year. So soil is missing something for cucumber plants. I don't understand why they're so slow to grow. And I think I see more cucumber beetles down there, so I'm gonna have to go through. I thought I wiped those out, but looks like there's some more here. And also it looks like there's fewer plants, so somebody's probably been eating those too. This whole area is just weeds, so I'm just gonna trample through there. Corn is about I don't know, about 3.5 feet tall, close to 4 feet tall. My neighbor's already has the seeds and whatever else, like fertilizes it coming out of there, but mine don't yet. I have like 2 or 3 big potato plants here. They're like massive, much bigger than those over there. I'm not sure why. And these are the ones that were just random potatoes that were left, but the corn is looking like really healthy. It looks real good there. And the random carrots seem to be doing well. I haven't been out here watering. I had a really busy week and a busy weekend. This is the first time I've seen it in a few days. But yeah, nice healthy looking carrots there. So that'll be nice to pick later. Now let's take a little walk down to the bottom. I can see some pumpkin flowers out down there. And I walked through here about a week ago. There was nothing. So now I can see a lot of flowers like closed up right now. I think they were all like male flowers though. So I don't think there's any pumpkins started yet. I'll take a little look around here just in case. But it's not looking too good here either, is it? Neglecting a garden definitely isn't a good thing. You can see a lot of flowers coming in right there. And they're really tall too. Surprised how big they're getting. This guy's finally starting to stretch out. And then another sea of weeds and little sunflowers that don't seem to be growing enough. And if I remember correctly, these are the ones that I stole from the bird seed. So I don't expect those to get very tall. Weeds are doing great though. Look at how tall those guys are. Let's go see what the grapes are doing. Oh wow, so the grapes are very close to how big they were last year when I picked them. And it's still just August, so I think these have a little ways to go still. I can't remember exactly when I picked them. I'd have to go through my old videos and take a look. Those are nice looking. And I finally went through and thinned out the raspberry plants. So hopefully that helps for next year. Although I saw some wild ones next to my work and they're just out in nature doing their thing, tall as can be, so I don't know why these are so high maintenance. Now the blueberries, wow, there's a ton of blueberries here ready to be picked. So I think we're gonna come out here and pick those tonight. Yep, those are looking real good. I'm just gonna take the netting off, but really a lot there ready to pick. Can't wait till these trees get much bigger. Now let's go look at the apples. My sticky things are full of flies, but I don't think I stopped any of the worms or butterflies or anything from getting in. The apples really do not look good at all. So I'm just gonna wait till these are big and ripe and we'll see what's edible and what's not. This tree here, so many apples have, you know, whatever that is, the feces from worms and caterpillars. But I'm hoping I'll find some good ones. And here's the big Macintosh tree. Again, more gross looking apples, but some look okay, so we'll see. It's also getting really tall now. That's a good 12 feet up there. And of course our peach tree that has nothing going on this year. So we'll see if next year it's back or not. Alright, so that's it for this August update. We'll see what it looks like next few weeks. Look at that. Alright, I'm just down here and it's the third week of August, so it's getting pretty late in the year, and this has been one of the driest summers I've ever seen. We've got forest fires all over New Brunswick here and across Canada, and there was one just down the road recently that was pretty scary. My grass has not grown in months. I mowed it once earlier this year, it dried out, it's basically dead. All the plants are struggling, and I'll show you how much they're struggling. I'm just down here, we just picked all the blueberries. We got another batch here. I've been busy planting some trees, so I planted another little apple tree here for one of our cats that passed away. And I planted a few cedar trees up there near the water fountain to try to, close that area off. I was just out checking the grapes here, and they're not quite ready. They're just a little on the sour side, but definitely getting bigger. So I'm just gonna let those get a little bit sweeter like last year. But so yeah, we can see how dry it is here. I mowed over the strawberries, and well, I can see one little guy still alive down there, but the rest are basically dead for the year. A few tough ones still coming out here, but this is where we can see that the dryness is just too much. The sunflowers are not even 2 feet tall, these little guys. All this is weeds, and we can see where I mowed, everything's dead. But even here, all these weeds would normally be like 2 feet tall and thriving. They're skinny, like so skinny and so dry, not doing well. We can see a sunflower or something that just died there because it's so dry. And I'm down here watering almost daily. I can't even keep up with the pumpkins here. Like, they're just so tiny. And it was just a few weeks ago that, there's flowers everywhere. Nothing now. Doesn't matter how much I water them. We can see how dark the soil is there because it's still wet enough. Everything here is dead for about 4 feet into the garden, and it's just not surviving. It's terrible down here. Just so dry. Even the apple trees are not looking that great. I give them water once in a while, but so many apples have fallen and are rotting down there. So we'll see. Soon I'll taste one if there's any that look edible. I mean, they're looking better now that they're a bit bigger. A few weeks ago, it looks like, bugs were getting in there and spitting out the pulp, and I don't know if they're gonna come out as worms in there or if they just pick the occasional apple and those are the ones that are falling. But I've got some, like that guy right there, look really good. So we'll see when the time comes, but definitely that tree, the honeycrisp tree, does not look good. So here in the garden, we can see that the drought is definitely hurting these potatoes. They were nice and green. Now they're starting to shrivel up a little bit, and this is with water. I found a few potato bugs in the other plants and picked them off, but still none here. But these plants are looking more and more like they're ready to be picked, and it looks like almost like October, and we're only August right now. Like, really, this dry and the heat and everything is not helping. Also, when I was down here last week, I noticed all the plants are trampled on. So something's been through here a lot. You can see all those dark spots. Well, something big has been coming through here, and I don't know what it is, what they're looking for. This area here, we had nothing planted, but I do have cucumbers that are just, as usual, these little guys, like disappointing. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe they're going to be late bloomers and doing well later, but they get the most water. I'm down here all the time making sure that they get everything they need, but again, not fantastic. Here's the two massive potato plants. Like, they're so big. They're about 2.5 square feet, like just so big. And I've found a few potato bugs on here, a couple of adults and one really big larvae, and I picked them off, killed those, and none have seemed to have come back. So really interesting. They're so big. The corn's looking nice and tall. Some of them are starting to open up to pollinate, but still no sign. Oh, there's the first one right there. I was gonna say, still no sign of actual corn hairs, but there's some. So we'll see how that goes in the next few weeks, but it's been so dry. Carrots, so a couple of big guys there in a few spots. So I've got a few carrots. So far the deer haven't been here to eat them. I'm hoping they won't see them. There's a nice batch here of 8 or 10 of them there, and some little guys that aren't very big. But yeah, somehow the weeds are doing okay in this area, but down there, maybe it's because of the shade from the house, but down there it's really not doing well. So yeah, it's been a rough summer for the garden this year. I'm sorry if you guys are watching this video hoping for something better, but I'd say there's less of it this year of my neglect, more of just the drought. So it's always something. So this year's headlines seem to be, one, the cucumber beetles, which I had no idea about and definitely did a number on us. And two is just this so much dryness. Like, I've had to fill up my water fountain so many times this year because the water just evaporates. It's been nearly 40 degrees for weeks and weeks and weeks, and no rain. We got about 1 millimeter of rain the other day. We may have 10 coming, so really bad. I'm just going to take a look to see if there's more grapes in here. So a little bit here, not much. A little more up here. Oh, 2 more bunches here. Like, really looking nice. Still small, but nice looking grapes. I'm gonna taste this guy. Yeah, still a little sour, but good. So those will be ready to pick soon. A couple little ones there. So I'm happy about this grape plant actually producing now. So it looks like every year we should get grapes. So hopefully it gets nice and big and we'll have snacks all summer. All right, well, that's it for this update. We'll see what it looks like in the next few weeks. So I'm just out in the garden today, and I noticed that the grapes are really ripe and ready to be picked because they're going to start rotting soon. So I'm going to give those a quick pick. I think that's it. Well, I'm going to go clean these up. Here I am picking a few potatoes for supper. And now some carrots too. Well, it's now mid-September and I'm taking the first walk back here in nearly 2 weeks. It's been quite a while. I've been really busy with stuff, actually planning my wedding, which is next week. And I've neglected the garden quite a bit. Let's have a little peek in here. You can see most of our potato plants have died off. So I'm going to start picking those soon, probably early October. Now I was trying my best to get these cucumber plants to grow, but they are not looking good. They haven't seen water in a while. It's been such a dry year. Oh yeah, look at those, they look terrible. So no cucumbers this year. Yeah, those plants are really not looking good. We're starting to get frost warnings, so they weren't going to last much. So something's been trampling through here. Wow. Look at that corn stalk knocked over. Now, I did dig up some potatoes here a few weeks ago, and it looked like something was maybe trampling through here or sleeping in here, but this is evidence that something big has been through here and trampling on all these corn stalks. Let's take a look at how the corn's doing. So there's a hope to get something out of this garden this year. There's some little corn growing there. Quite a few of them, and that's probably what's happening is deer are getting in here and eating those. Got some that it looks like the crows have been eating. But these are real nice stalks and they're nice and dense, so I'm hoping we'll get a bit of corn from there, but they don't look very big. Now apples are basically ready to pick. I think the orchards are going to be open soon. We got some fairly nice big apples here, but it's to see which ones are full of bugs and which aren't. Now, there was a ton of apples on the ground, and I can see a few that are kind of rotten away. But I imagine the deer were probably in here eating those. Like this tree has almost nothing left on it. So I'm guessing the deer were here and ate all those. There's only maybe 2 or 3 apples left in that Macintosh tree. Now the Honeycrisp still has a lot of apples in it, so I'm going to see how many are good, but those are a fairly good size apple. I did pick 2 already and Jen ate those. Apparently they were good. And now the new tree, I still forget what these guys are. Really cute looking apples. I may pick some of those later. And the newest addition is this guy, some sort of yellow apple. But it looks like everything's pretty much died off. So it's pretty much the end of the year here. Should still have carrots. So potatoes are going to be the big one as usual. That's like my anchor crop. I'm just going to take a little peek in here. I can see a few carrots ready to be picked. So I'll likely pick those in the next few weeks if the deer don't get to them first, but it's pretty much ending the year. And it's one that I'll be happy to forget, considering how dry it was. It didn't matter how much I watered it. It wasn't a great year, so we'll keep trying. Well, it's now the first weekend in October. I just got married last weekend, so it's been a busy week and lots of time to neglect the garden. So today I'm out here and I'm looking to start picking the apples. The Honeycrisp tree, we can see, or sorry, the Macintosh tree, we can see there's almost no apples left. They all fell to the ground. We had no peaches this year, but the Honeycrisp tree has tons of apples. I don't know what's good and what's bad, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a bucket and a bag here. I'm going to take the good ones, put them in a bag. The any bad looking ones I'm going to throw in the bucket. I'm just going to put the edge of the property for any deer that come by, because I'm pretty sure that's who's eating these anyway. So I'm going to have a look, and it looks like there's one or two over in that third tree there, so I'm going to have a look at that as well. Well, looks like we got a whole 2 apples from that Honeycrisp tree. We'll go check out the other one. Looks like we got 1 apple from that tree, but what a nice looking apple. I'm not sure what kind this is, but they look really good, really nice. Maybe like a pink lady or something. Well, while I'm out here, I might as well see if any of this corn is ready to pick. It's now finally time to pick the potatoes. Well, with the last of the potatoes and carrots picked, I guess it's time to clean up a little and till all the remaining plants into the soil. I'm using the bucket to pull up some of the deeper soil to mix everything up really well. Well, it was yet another tough year, but we did get a few nice things from the garden. Hopefully we get more rain next year and get a better handle on the bugs. Well, that's going to be it for this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.